Let us now pledge ourselves afresh to uphold and serve the values and fellowship of the Commonwealth. We affirm that every person possesses unique worth and dignity. We affirm our respect for nature and that we will be stewards of the earth by caring for every part of it and for it as a whole. We affirm our belief in justice for everyone and peace among peoples and nations. Joining together in kinship and affinity, in diversity and unity, as members of a worldwide family of nations, we build on shared inheritances. We cooperate with mutual respect and goodwill to deliver a common future for the good of all. Through Commonwealth connection, we learn from one another and innovate to transform our communities, our nations, and our world. We affirm our belief in the Commonwealth as a powerful influence for good in the world and pledge ourselves to its service, now and for the future.
Delivering a common future, a Commonwealth Day message from Her Majesty the Queen, Head of the Commonwealth. Over the coming week, as we celebrate the friendship, spirit of unity, and achievements of the Commonwealth, we have an opportunity to reflect on a time like no other. Whilst the experiences of the last year have been different across the Commonwealth, stirring examples of courage, commitment, and selfless dedication to duty have been demonstrated in every Commonwealth nation and territory, notably by those working on the front line who've been delivering healthcare and other public services in their communities. We have also taken encouragement from remarkable advances in developing new vaccines and treatments. The testing times experienced by so many have led to a deeper appreciation of the mutual support and spiritual sustenance we enjoy by being connected to others. The need to maintain greater physical distance or to live and work largely in isolation has, for many people across the Commonwealth, been an unusual experience. In our everyday lives, we've had to become more accustomed to connecting and communicating via innovative technology, which has been new to some of us, with conversations and communal gatherings, including Commonwealth meetings conducted online, enabling people to stay in touch with friends, family, colleagues, and counterparts who they have not been able to meet in person. Increasingly, we found ourselves able to enjoy such communication, as it offers an immediacy that transcends boundaries or division, helping any sense of distance to disappear. We have all continued to appreciate the support, breadth of experiences, and knowledge that working together brings, and I hope we shall maintain this renewed sense of closeness and community. Looking forward, relationships with others across the Commonwealth will remain important as we strive to deliver a common future that is sustainable and more secure, so that nations and neighbourhoods in which we live, wherever they are located, become healthier and happier places for us all. Thank you.
Commonwealth Day message from the Right Honourable Patricia Scotland, Commonwealth Secretary-General. Too often, too many of us can think we're powerless. This is particularly true in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, such as climate change or devastating events like the global pandemic. Especially in our current forced isolation and separation from each other, it can be too easy to forget our common connections or our long bonds of friendship and family, or to believe that our power and ability to influence the world around us is too small or insufficient. But this isn't true. This year, Commonwealth Day is on the same date as International Women's Day. It is very fitting, and particularly considering the pioneering leadership given over many decades by the Commonwealth collectively and by our member states on pushing progress to equal participation for women in the social, economic, and political lives of our communities and countries. This year has seen women across the Commonwealth rise up and lead us all in our fight against COVID-19 and in preparing our countries and our communities to recover from the many devastating consequences of this pandemic. Women, despite the immensity of the issues we have faced, are rising to these challenges as leaders across our countries, our communities, and our homes. Women are demonstrating strong leadership on the front line of the pandemic, from healthcare to education to science, where they have led the race to create the vaccines we need to beat COVID. I know that despite our challenges, the bonds of our Commonwealth family are just as real, strong, and vibrant as they ever were, and just as strong as the many women who have risen to meet the challenges of the pandemic, just as powerful. And the year ahead is, I believe, a year of hope, opportunity, and progress for our Commonwealth family. Progress as our leaders meet at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting to tackle issues like climate change, as we look at the International United Nations Climate Change COP26 conference meetings later this year, and to build on our Commonwealth Blue Charter, which works to protect our oceans, who recognises that we will only be safe if we protect our planet, use its resources responsibly. It is only through wise and sustainable stewardship of our world and its bounty that we will safeguard the health of humanity. Progress as we push across all of our member states for more inclusive economic development and equitable trade to support the good jobs and sustainable economic growth that must underpin our shared prosperity. Progress as we continue to advocate on behalf of small states who make up such a large part of our family and whose interests we are all committed to representing, because of our vision of equality has always been based upon everyone having a voice and a seat at the table, no matter what size. That is why so much of our work has been focused on making sure that these voices are heard, such as through practical support, like our joint office at the United Nations, providing a permanent representation for those small states who want it, or our Climate Finance Access Hub, which is working to make sure that our small states are able to access the funds they need to respond to the very real challenges they face in tackling climate change. Or recent work to highlight urgent health issues, such as equal access for small and developing states to the vaccines that we hope will enable us all to return to normal. We're also committed to making progress in ensuring that the human rights of all our citizens are respected, and that the values of democracy and the rule of law that are so central to our founding charter and our values are upheld. And progress in our relentless drive to end domestic violence and sexual assault through our Commonwealth Says No More campaign. We know that women have borne the brunt of the shocking rise in domestic and gender-based violence during this pandemic. Our Commonwealth Says No More campaign is mobilising action to make our homes and communities the places of safety they ought to be, free from fear or physical or physiological harm. So while the challenges may seem insurmountable alone, I know that as a Commonwealth family, though we may be apart, we stand together, united in purpose. We are 2.4 billion people across 54 countries, and all of us are part of countless communities, families, and homes around the globe. And through all of this, we are one Commonwealth family. So, as we celebrate our membership with the 2.4 billion other members of our Commonwealth family, let us this year especially commit ourselves to working for the welfare and well-being the commonwealth of all humanity. Let us together work for a more equal and equitable, a more hopeful future for our Commonwealth and our world.